Welcome, great agents across the country. Today is January 5th, 2017, and this is our Mastermind call number 107. And forgive me for being repetitive, but please, you're all muted out. Hit *6 and then hit 1, and we will take your questions and comments one at a time. There's nothing that is off. This is an open forum. Nothing is out of bounds or out of. It's not open for discussion. We want your wins, your struggles, the issues you're having. Share with the group, participate, and if you're brand new and don't think you're asking a dumb question, we got a lot of new people in the last month or two, so I'm sure there's somebody else that has the same question. Again, hit *6 and hit 1. We don't have anybody in the queue yet. Let me go around the horn with my partners. Tim, anything you want to share with the group?
Just welcome to a great new year. We ended last year with a bang and a lot of great successes throughout the year. We've been very gratified to see that everything's moving in the right direction, and we're continuing to sharpen our game. We've already had 2 major kind of conversations between all of us as partners about the things that we're going to be doing and adding and doing everything we can to make your lives easier, better, and certainly more profitable this year. And we look forward to continued growth and growing with you, and we appreciate you. So let's rock on.
Excellent. Chad?
I sent out a survey to everybody last night, and thank you guys so much for everybody who has responded to that. If you didn't see that, it's just 5 simple questions. If you can, just give us your input. There's a lot of things we can do in 2017. We just want to make sure we're doing the ones that you guys see as the most valuable. Really interesting to see what everybody's doing, what's working, and on the seller side of your business. And we're really excited to develop some new systems for you guys this year. So if you can just take a couple minutes and fill that out. And Eileen Schultz, if you're on the call from Washington, was actually the winner of the $100 lead credit for filling out the survey. So congratulations, Eileen. You'll have $100 off of your next invoice. And I did send you an email this morning if you're on the call.
Excellent. And Chad, I know the Mastery class is coming up. Is it too late to get registered in the January Mastery?
It's not. So for everybody who wasn't on the role play call yesterday, you probably saw a little bit of an email mix-up because I'm a bad multitasker. Mastery is still, registration's open until 5 o'clock tomorrow. Probate January Mastery will start on Monday at 2 p.m. With the session, there's 3 sessions. So Monday at 2 p.m., Wednesday at 2 p.m., and Friday at 2 p.m. And that's the 9th, 11th, and 13th of January.
Excellent. And to touch on the role play call, we do that the first Wednesday of every month at 2 p.m. Eastern. And I say this every time, but I thought that was probably the best one yesterday. If you guys haven't listened to it, it was really, really good, basic, how to initiate the conversation, a couple minor objections that come up, and we had really good questions. They were really very realistic role plays. So, Chad, if I think we had about half the group on that call yesterday, would you tell everyone how they can find that and listen to it if they weren't on the call?
Yeah, so if you're a subscriber, you can go and in your subscriber portal on the left-hand side, you'll see a link for conference calls. And when you click there at the very top, you'll see Access Call Archive, and that'll help you. You can go through by month and year. You can go through all the Mastermind and role play calls. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can go to our closed Facebook group, which is All the Leads Mastermind. And if you're not a member, you can request access. But go to All the Leads Mastermind. In the top right, you can make your life easier by using the search bar and put in role play and search this group, and it'll bring all the role plays to the top. And the one from yesterday should be pretty close to the top anyways.
Excellent. Well, we have 2 people in the queue, guys. We have room for at least 5 more. So, again, if you want to actively participate, please hit *6 and then hit 1. And for now, we'll go to the first person in the queue. Phone number ending in 0045. You're up.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Susan in Pennsylvania. Happy New Year to everyone.
Likewise.
All right, I have 2 questions, fairly easy ones, I think. We're brand new, and I'm wondering, what do we do when we see the same attorney reappearing case after case, month after month with different estates and personal representatives?
Take him a fruit basket. So those are the attorneys who are building that probate. It's a pillar in their business. So those are the first ones you want to get to know, because they're seeing files every month, and chances are, at some point you guys are going to cross paths. You're going to work with one of his clients. So be proactive, introduce yourself, help them understand what your full offering is. And what we've found is office visits are the best way to do that. People, a lot of folks have tried direct mail and phone calls, and it's really hard to get past the gatekeeper. But when you're there in person and you really believe in what you're offering, and they realize that you can make their life so much easier by being, a different class of real estate professional than they've worked with in the past, it's pretty easy to earn those referrals. And those are the people we had one gentleman who's closed over 100 transactions over a 10-year period from one single attorney. And he just happened to meet him at a business networking event. But that's the kind of impact. If you get to know those top 5 attorneys, you can have a steady flow of referrals for the rest of your career.
Okay. Any recommendations on getting through that gatekeeper to get a office visit scheduled? I mean, I don't anticipate anything terrible, but just in case.
I'll tell you, the vast majority of folks who have really cracked into the attorneys have just shown up. So you can
Chad,
show up.
No, go ahead. If I could, I'll pipe in there. I don't know if Bob Faust is on the call. Yeah, it's more effective to show up most of the time. A couple of our agents, including I think Bob Faust in California, shared with us. He was calling and introducing himself and saying, "I'd like to speak to Mr. Johnson," and Then he found out what was much more effective was to call and say, "This is Bob. I'm calling about probate case number 86204." And he seemed to get put through to the attorney more often if he referenced the case number. If he referenced the case number, I don't know if it's because if you sound like more of an attorney or if it sounds like personal business, but just a little tip there. If you're gonna go on the phone, I'd reference a probate case number rather than just a generic introduction. You might have better luck at getting through.
The other thing I'd also add is that remember that the attorney only has one thing that he can make money doing, and that's billing for his time. And whatever the ancillary services are that he offers, they're all wrapped around time. And if you see that same attorney and you're seeing him every month or her every month over and over, and you know that they're doing a significant number of probates, you may literally want to go buy an hour of that person's time and say so. Say, look, I know that you're a prime attorney that handles a lot of probate in our marketplace. This is what I do for a living, and I want to get some information from you. And, just frame it that way. Attorneys like to bill for time, and it may be, if you can't get through any other way, it might be worth your time to go buy an hour of that attorney's time, and that's an amazing way to get that reference. And what you're trying to do is get that attorney to be, you want to be him, you want to get referred by that attorney. That's your objective in doing that. So great way to start is by spending a little dough with them as well, if that's the only way you can get that time.
Forgive me, we're giving you multiple answers to the same question, but it's a great question. The other thing that I was going to add is, we always tell the agents, reach out to the executor first. It's lower hanging fruit. They're easier to get through to. And we've had maybe a half a dozen agents that have had very good luck being proactive. We've had a lot more agents that have had very good success by listing a property. Once you list the property, you have a legitimate reason why you have to contact the attorney. And I always tell the agents, call and ask the attorney, I need to know the expected completion date of the probate. And then, because I need to put those comments in the multiple listing. And, if the attorney says, okay, it's going to close about the end of March, you probably want to go in the MLS and put a comment, probate in progress, please date contracts on or after March 30th. But it's a good excuse to call him. And we've heard from our agents, they've had the most success getting referrals from attorneys by just doing a really good job getting the property sold and being really efficient on the first deal that they had with them. So it's kind of a way of getting in the back door if you don't have any luck getting in the front door. Make sense?
Excellent. All great ideas. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Now, you said you had a follow-up question, or was that it?
Yes, I do. Yeah, on a different topic. Your recommendations on finding cash investors.
Excellent. Yes. I'll give you one that worked very well for me, and I know Chad has a few. There is a national organization called National REIA. It stands for Real Estate Investors Association. They have a pretty good website. You can just go to National REIA and click on a map. You'll get the local real estate clubs in that area, and call the president of the club and tell him what you're doing. Say, can you recommend a couple investors? My experience was he'll probably say, yeah, me. Call me next time you get a good deal. That's one way to do it. And Chad, I think you have a couple others, right?
Yes, I kind of always present this as short-term, long-term. So in the long term, actually going once you find out where your local REIA is, attending those meetings is a great way to network with the landlords and the flippers in your market. And those are the guys you want to know when the market turns and you have to transition into REO and short sales. You'll be making money when everyone else is crying the sky's falling. So there's a lot of different ways you can benefit by being, the realtor in that group. So you can go to the REIA. What you're going to find is 90% of the room will be tire kickers. So your job when you get there is to figure out who's actually doing deals, who are the 10% that have cash that will close. And usually that starts kind of the same way. You start at the top, with the board members or the group organizers, and just network your way, into the crowd. That's the first, kind of the long-term approach if you want to build a list over time. The short-term, if you have a deal and you need to find a cash buyer like yesterday, the quickest way is to attend the trustee sale or an absolute auction. So if there's a foreclosure sale at your courthouse today, there will be people standing there with 10% checks in their pocket, and they have 30 days to come up with the rest of the cash. So they've already got a finance strategy in place, whether it's their cash or private money or wherever it's coming from. What you know is you have very motivated, ready, willing, and able buyers standing at those sales. And to find the trustee sale, you can just go to the local newspaper. To find absolute auctions, you can Google your town absolute auction or look at your commercial brokerage websites. A lot of the auctions, at least in my area, are done by commercial brokers.
The other thing you may want to look at is go to Craigslist in your local marketplace and go to the services section of Craigslist and just type in real estate investor in the services area. And if you've got savvy real estate investors, they're definitely going to be running a listing in that area, and you'll find a lot of them. I just happened to kick it in for our local market here, and it pulled a few, and then it spanned out from there, and it'll find them all over the area, and there is a lot of them in this market and likely in yours as well, and they'll be listings. It'll say real estate investor, cash buyer, investor friendly, quick closing, that sort of stuff, and they'll just pop right up.
Excellent. More excellent suggestions. Thank you all.
See, you got 10 answers to 2 questions. Good question.
I know. Fantastic.
Thank you very much. We have 2 more people in the queue. Phone number ending in 2310. You're up.
Hey, Jim. It's Randy from San Antonio. Just a real couple quick questions. I had gotten notification that the person or people that are pulling the leads in my county, I guess, disappeared. So
okay.
When would you suspect? And we can have a private conversation later on about that. So I'm kind of interested in what happens at this point in time. The other question I have is we're sending out the first batch of personal representative letters, and when I was looking to do the attorney letters, it wouldn't allow us to do it. We'd have to have your group do it, and I'm just kind of curious as to, is that any of that going to change anytime?
Yeah, I'll take both those. This is Tim, and I'll answer both of your questions. So I noticed that we had lost a researcher in that marketplace, and what happens when that occurs? Obviously, these are independent people. Some of them we have, I have direct relationships with. Some of them are part of groups, and when we lose one, we, as quickly as humanly possible, set forth to try and fill that. Obviously, it's a challenge to do that over the holidays, and I don't know the exact status of whether or not somebody's been hired in your market, but I did note that, and I know that as soon as someone is put on board, we're going to keep you posted on getting that done, and they'll get trained quickly and get it done. These jobs are great for the folks that get them, and we usually have people waiting. We try to keep a person in the queue. If we have somebody in a marketplace, we usually have more than one to fall back on. So we'll get you an answer out in a couple of days as to where that stands. If we know something today, we'll let you know. As far as the letter for the attorney, I think we've made that available for you to download, I'm pretty sure. If not, I'll look, and I'll take that on to make sure we get you a copy of that letter if you want it.
Well, I have the copy. I was able to modify it in the system, just not able to send it out directly through y'all's system. Like, I modified the list for the personal representatives, so I had them. And then I said, okay, I want to send out the attorneys that are associated with these personal representatives, and it's like, oh, we can't do that.
Yeah, I don't think we would ever tell you we can't take your money. We'll be happy to take your money and do that. If you're having an issue with that and we're not answering it correctly, I'll get with our mailing folks and find out what's cooking, and I'll take an interest in getting that fixed for you as well today.
Yeah, my assistant Jill has been the one dealing with that side of it, and she's like, well, we have to send in our list, and then y'all would send it out.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take a look at it. I mean, I know that we focus almost 100% of our efforts in terms of mailing are on the personal representatives, but we don't. Here's the issue. What we don't have it set up to do is to allow you to flag do send, don't send in regard to the attorney. So we haven't added that to the system, but we will take a look at it, and we want to get it done for you. But we focus on, as Jim said, or Chad said earlier, we focus all of our effort initially on the investor, on the personal representative side. And frankly, in some marketplaces, you're fortunate because you're getting good attorney information. In some marketplaces, the attorney information is a bit sparser and all that. We always get great PR information. We don't always get great attorney information, and it's getting better. So we're probably going to need to add that. Okay?
All right. Thank you, sir.
Excellent. One more person on the queue. Just to follow up to that, I feel like I should mention this at least once a call. There's 4 of us partners. We have a half a dozen employees. If you ever need the quickest way to ever get help with anything, go to our website there and just send an email to support@alltheleads.com. Everybody reads that, and if you'll be real specific about what you need help with, somebody will usually get back to you in a matter of minutes, certainly in an hour or less, and in most cases a lot sooner. So, again, support@alltheleads.com if you want to get a quick answer if you're having issues with anything. We have one more person in the queue, guys. We got time for a few more, so who's going to step up next? Hit *6 and hit 1. And in the meantime, phone number ending in 7878, you're up.
Hey, Jim. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Great.
Happy New Year. I have a couple of quick questions. First one, regarding the class next week, is that recorded, and do you hold it only once a year or every month?
Everything we do is video recorded, and you'll get the recording within an hour following the session. And we do the classes once per month in a group format.
Okay, good enough. Regarding the website, do you need to? I want to sign up. I want to get the website, but do I need to take the class first, or can I take the class, sign up now and take the class, next?
Well, you can do. The website is, you could sign up for that today, take the class next week, and you'll probably be finished with both by next Friday.
Fair enough.
Right, because there's some setup necessary with the website. You're going to have information to furnish about that and some approval process, because we get information from you, and it's fully customized to fit you and who you are and all of that. So it'll take you some time to get us that information, and we'll distill it and put it on the site. So, sign up, get it done, and like Chad said, should all be ready simultaneously.
Fair enough. I just want to make sure, the deal, that they're one follow the other. Once listed, and I think, Jim, this was you mentioning, once you have the property listed, the probate property, call the attorney and then ask the expected close of escrow date, or obviously, but something along the lines of when it would be a time that they could initiate close of escrow dates for marketing. You know, we want to tell other agents and so on. Did I understand that question correctly? If we call the listing, the attorney that's representing the estate, say, hey, I've got 123 Elm Street listed. Do you have a date or a time frame that we could possibly close him? And then that would establish a rapport with that attorney, which is a great question, a concept. But I just want to make sure I got the right question.
Correct. That's what I recommend, because if you're just generically calling them and you're hitting a wall, well, once you've got the property listed, you have a specific purpose for contacting him, and he is representing that estate. So he sort of has a fiduciary relationship and an obligation to answer your questions when you're trying to help get the property sold. So yeah, that I found that to be very effective. I've recommended. I've heard good feedback on that. It's a very effective way to get through. And then just to make it your life easier, so you don't get 100 calls from buyer agents, then I would go ahead and just put it in the comments of the multiple listing. Probate in progress. Please date sales contracts on or after March 30th. Just let them know that there's going to be a little bit of a lag time, when they write up the contract, so you don't have to keep explaining that to the agents one by one.
Dynamite. That is okay. Sounds good, guys. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your program.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Two more people in the queue, guys. Good job. Phone number ending in 1189. You're up.
Okay. This is Belinda. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Belinda.
Okay, great. All right, two things. One comment regarding the cash buyers. You can also go on your MLS and look and see who paid cash, and then go back through the tax records and find cash buyers that way. I've done that.
Interesting.
And,
say that. That's a good idea. Say that again, please.
You can go into your own MLS. If you're an agent, of course, you can go into your MLS system, and then you can see the method of purchase. It can be cash, all cash. And for that, then you can backtrack into the tax records and find out who the cash buyer was or the company. And you
Great
can get
idea.
cash buyers that way. And then it tells you the types of properties they buy too. So
very smart idea. Thank you.
So that's one thing. And then the question I had, though, was this. Regarding all the component pieces we need to get in place in order to be almost like a one-stop service, the attorney, the skilled handyman, the contractor, da-da-da, what are the most important pieces to get in place before we start making phone calls? Because, it would take a little while to kind of gather all these pieces and then kind of screen the different companies and people and make sure you got people that are kind of going to work well for you or with you. So what do you think is the most important, like, say, I guess, top three that should be in place before you start making your phone calls? Or do you even think you have to have any of that in place before you start making your phone calls?
I'll ask you a question that I asked somebody last week. If you had $1 million in listings sitting on your desk,
me.
sign.
I was the person you asked. And I went to my investor meeting last night, so I got contractors. I already have an attorney. I got cash buyers for going to the RIA meeting, the real estate investor meeting. But then I was thinking, well, it's going to take a while to get, like, say, a financial planner in place. It's going to take a while.
Okay, you're ready to go.
Attorneys in place.
So
okay.
When you need those additional people, it will motivate you to find them quickly. So don't feel like you have to spend all your time building your dream team. When you realize that you need somebody to be a great financial advisor, you'll carve out an hour of that day and you'll find a great financial advisor.
Okay.
So don't ever let that keep you from marketing.
Just a little apprehension.
Don't ever stop building that team either.
Okay, and I was saying just a little apprehension because, when you have other people you refer business to, it kind of reflects back on you if those people don't really work out or if they don't, do something they're supposed to do. So, and that's the same case even when you're a realtor. And you try to recommend a handyman or a contractor, and if they don't work out well, then the person kind of looks at you side-eye, But, okay.
Yeah, and good thing to remember, Belinda, it's not like an REO. You hardly ever need all of those people on a given transaction, but the fact that you have them really makes you a comprehensive turnkey solution for somebody at a difficult time. So like Chad said, I'd never let it stop you from getting started, and certainly don't add somebody just for the sake of adding them. Make sure you're comfortable with them before you add them. But that's a great point. The first time you need somebody right away, you'll probably tell the seller, "Yeah, I've got a great person," and you'll go find one real quick. So motivation could be, need could be a great motivator to get it done. But you're doing all the right.
It takes a while to figure out if people are really going to work out well. Cause it just takes a while.
Understood. Did you have another question?
Nope, that's it.
All right, excellent. Boy, perfect timing. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes, and we have one more person in the queue. Phone number ending in 5781. You're up.
Hi, good afternoon. Happy New Year. My
Likewise.
name is Helene, and I'm calling from Atlantic County, New Jersey. Thank you. In reference to Belinda's statement and her questions, mine would be, how and where do I find this dream team?
Okay. Chad, you want to give her just, and this is mentioned in the Fast Track videos. You're a subscriber, correct, Helene?
I am, and I've been a member for a month, but I haven't received any leads yet.
But have you watched the Fast Track videos on the website?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Chad, where would they, Helene and somebody else, find that information on the team, and where to find them?
Well, I mean, I can just run through it real quick. It's in, I believe, in video too. But so, cash buyers we've talked about on this call. Contractors are really good team members to have, because you can get, when you need work done post home inspection, or if a family wants to completely renovate a home. I do 2 different levels of contractors. Your kind of punch work guy, it's if you have a good relationship with other agents in your office, you can say, hey, who's a reputable contractor that's done good work for you, and you may not have to go any further than your own office to find somebody willing to share a great contractor. If you have big jobs and you want to do like full-blown renovations, go to Dunkin' Donuts, get a thing of coffee and a bag of biscuits, and show up at Home Depot at 6 in the morning. The guys that roll through there with $70,000 pickups at sunrise are going to do what they say they're going to do. I find the most trustworthy contractors, they're running their business like a business, and that's a good way to find them. As far as a good closing attorney, you probably already have one. I would just talk to them and say, listen, we're going to be doing probate, and I know inevitably we're going to hit title issues. Have you guys ever worked with, families and just make sure your title company is equipped. Either they have an attorney or they are an attorney to help the family if they do have to deal with any kind of title issues or will disputes. And then, there's like clean out crews. You can also use Craigslist to find clean out crews. You got to be careful there. It's not, most clean out guys aren't really licensed and insured. There are clean out companies in New Jersey. It seems to be really common in your market. They are very expensive.
Chad,
Go
ahead. I'm sorry, finish.
A good way to find a trustworthy clean out crew that works for cheap is to talk to just figure out who are the top 5 REO agents in your market. They have used all the clean out crews, I promise you. So if you look in MLS and see who's listing all the foreclosure homes, they will know the best clean out crews that work for the lowest price. So that's a quick way to find those. In a day or two, you can get multiple clean out crews, and then just kind of build from there. Think about who else can bring value to this situation. Who is a good senior moving company? Who's a good financial advisor that can help your client after the real estate's sold, help kind of preserve that wealth and set up a plan for the next generation, and just slowly start to build from there. But those are just some ideas.
Yeah, I was going to add, there's some national companies like 1-800-GOT-JUNK, and not necessarily that a national company is going to be better, but in many cases they would tend to be a little bit more reputable, than some local guy that you don't know. So you might just Google. It doesn't even have to be local. Just Google clean out companies, and
and the estate sale companies. So a really good starting place that I've found is estate sales, plural. So estatesales.net, and they have a map search tool, so you can search by all the way down to the city level, I believe. And the companies who are listed on there, they actually pay to be part of that database. And I think they even have a ranking system from like platinum to bronze. And they, that's somebody who's actually marketing their business and paying to get their name out there. So if you don't know where to start with estate sale companies, that's a good place to start. And they will likely either do trash out or have somebody that does it for them. So you might if you get lucky and find the right estate sale company, you can get a 2-for-1 there.
And by the way, just to add to that, if you're not doing it, you should. If you find a good estate sale company and you're giving them business, you should ask for business too, because I've shared this with almost all of you when you signed up. The biggest stress point these people have seems to be that they have a house full of stuff they got to get rid of and they don't know what to do with it. So often the estate sale company, not all the time, but often if they're reaching out to anybody, they may be reaching out directly to the estate sale company first before they look for a realtor. So if you're giving an estate sale company business, let them know that it's a reciprocal arrangement. If they get anybody that calls them, Googles them, finds them on the internet directly, that you expect some referrals back from them. Make sense?
Okay. Makes sense. But now this is my other question. 2 weeks ago when I called, I had said that I was not receiving any leads. And to date, that is still the same. Is this something that happens on a regular basis? I mean, it's been a month since I joined, and I haven't received one lead yet.
No, that's very, very unusual. Have you emailed support@alltheleads.com?
I did, and I did receive a call, and they said they would not charge me until I started receiving them. But I was just wondering, if there's a situation where we've lost a person who's supposed to be doing the leads in Atlantic County.
Yeah, I mean, you ask if it happens, I would say about 1% of the time. I mean, nobody is completely reliable, so it does happen, just like the other gentleman mentioned. But again, send another email to me, Jim@alltheleads.com, and support@alltheleads.com, and we'll get back to you and let you know what the status is and how long we estimate it's going to take. And sorry for the delay. It really doesn't happen very often, but it does happen.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
All
and
right.
Jim, I got one other thing I want to go back. Randy had asked a question earlier, and I did look while we were talking here at what is available, and we've pretty much automated that entire process for the attorney side of this. If you simply want to send the attorney letter out, you can customize it, you can edit it, you can click to send an attorney letter out. We've actually made some modifications to that in the last couple of weeks, and so you can do that. You can also upload your custom list to go out to the attorneys as well, and Randy will be reaching out to you to make sure everybody understands that on your side as well. But we actually, I think, took some cues from the conversation we may have had with Randy earlier, and actually did some automation, and that's what we try to do. We build our systems around what our customers ask for, and we're happy to do that.
Excellent. Great way to end the call. Thank you so much to everyone who participated. Thank you to everyone who took 35 minutes out of your life to be here today. I always like to end these calls by challenging you to take one thing, one thought, one idea, something that inspired you from this call. Just take one extra action based on what you learned today. Go out and put it into practice and come back and let the group know how you did next Thursday. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. We will talk to you soon.